everyone and welcome to today's lesson. Today, we will learn about conservation of natural resources. And the topics in this chapter are renewable and non-renewable resources, petroleum, coal and natural gas. Renewable sources may be exhausted one day. Facilities from renewable resources and the conservation of resources. Now, before we get into the lesson, here is something to boost your knowledge. Can you name some natural resources that we must conserve for the future? I would pick water, plants, and the soil. Our Earth is a special place. It has some physical features like mountains, beaches, deserts, islands, plains, oceans, and rivers. The weather varies day per day and also is different at different places. We see different types of soil and plants. Also, many animals roam on the earth. All of this constitutes of our natural environment. Our environment provides us with certain natural resources. Some natural resources that the earth gives us are soil, air, water, minerals, plants, and animals. Renewable and non-renewable resources. Resources that we can replace naturally or manually and can reuse again are called renewable resources. Resources that we cannot replace are called non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are there in nature. Some examples of renewable resources are wind, sunlight, flowing water, trees, etc. Non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources get exhausted over a period of time. Some examples are coal, petroleum and natural gas, diamonds and other precious stones, metal ores, etc. Did you know? Non-renewable resources will eventually run out. They cannot be replenished. Coal, petroleum and natural gas are formed inside the soil or the seas and oceans. So they are called fossil fuels. Coal is formed from plant matter over millions of years. Coal made of carbon is available in plenty in the world. Our country has plenty of coal reserves. We use coal to generate electricity, origin of fossil fuels. Now we know that fossil fuels are formed from the remains of living organisms over millions of years. For this change, a lot of pressure and high temperature is necessary. After the organisms called plankton die and fall to the ocean floor, sediment covers them. Then, over time, heat and pressure change them to fossil fuels. Fossil fuel in rocks. We need to create some conditions to find oil and gas. Oil and gas are found in rock like sandstone. Petroleum. Petroleum includes crude oil and natural gas. Crude oil is a thick black mixture of liquid hydrocarbons that is formed from the remains of organisms in the sea. Natural gas is also formed in the same conditions, but is in the gaseous state. Extracting Earth's resources. Once geologists find oil and gas under the Earth's surface, it is then drilled out by engineers. The engineers take the oil and gas out by drilling a well. Once the well is completed, the oil and gas flow into the well. After that, they are brought to the surface of the earth. Now, did you know Saudi Arabia is the largest producer of oil? It has the biggest reserves. Renewable resources may get exhausted one day if we use them too fast. Let us have a look how that can happen. If there is excess deforestation and a lot of soil erosion, it will reduce the fertile topsoil. Because of that, no trees or shrubs will grow there. If we cut down trees without replanting them, it will end up in damaging the land, air, and water. Fresh water is a renewable resource, but in some areas, because of overpopulation, lack of water conservation, and pollution, water can become scarce. This is a very big problem in cities and in dry areas. The reduction of water will affect livestock, agriculture, and other living organisms in the area, including humans. Because the world cannot depend on oil, gas, and coal forever, we must find other sources of energy. Facilities from renewable resources. Solar power. Solar energy is the energy that we get from the sun. We know that global winds and ocean currents are powered by solar energy. More and more people are investing in solar panels on the roof of their houses. The solar cells take in the solar energy and then convert it to electricity. The solar cells do not work during a cloudy day or during the night. But our country is blessed with bright sunlight on most of the days during the year. Now, did you know? Solar energy is a free source of energy and there is plenty of it. Even though the sun is 90 million miles away from us, it takes less than 10 minutes for the sunlight to reach Earth. Wind power. Wind power has been used for sailing for over thousands of years. Today, we use windmills to generate electricity. Wind produces no waste. Water power. Water wheels have been used for over 100 years to generate energy and to grind grains. Hydroelectric energy is created by releasing large amounts of water through a man-made dam. The flowing water rotates the generators and generates electricity. Biomass energy. We get biomass energy by burning wood, alcohol, garbage or cow dung. It is a renewable resource in rural areas. Burning wood, etc. releases carbons into the atmosphere, which causes air pollution. Conservation of resources. Because of the increase in population, the demand for air, soil and water has increased. Because of this, conservation has become important. Conservation of resources means to use resources wisely and also to reduce the pollution of soil, air and water. Certain human activities can benefit the environment and preserve the natural resources. Conservation includes small-scale cleanup projects along the roadways to reduce soil erosion. Planting trees is another way to support the conservation of resources. The phrase, reduce, reuse and recycle has been a very famous catchphrase of the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Reduce means do not use a resource if you can use something else. Reuse means to use the resource again without changing or reprocessing it. For example, use glassware instead of paper plates. And recycle means to reprocess a resource so we can use it again. For example, paper can be recycled. Protect. We also need to prevent the loss of resources like animals by controlling the environment. Rapid deforestation will wipe out the plants and animals in the area. So we can protect them by controlling and saving their environment. Now, did you know? You can recycle aluminium again and again. There is really no limit to it. People use almost 50 billion cans of aluminium all year round around the world. So here is the glossary of today's lesson. Impose means to force. Vegetation is all the plants and trees taken together. Depletion means reduction in number. Exhaustive means including everything possible. And extract means to remove or take out. Now here is a quick sum up of today's lesson. Many animals are found on the earth. They make up our natural environment. Coal, petroleum and natural gas are formed from the remains of living beings under the soil or the seas and oceans. Non-renewables will be exhausted if we use them too fast, and rapid deforestation will wipe out the plants and animals. Now here is a mind map of today's lesson. Our environment has renewable and non-renewable resources. The renewable resources are air, living organisms like trees, fresh water, sunlight, and soil. The non-renewable resources are fossil fuels like coal, petroleum, and natural gas, diamonds, gems, and minerals, metals, and ores.